20-month-old Quinton Simon was living with his mother, Leilani, her boyfriend, and his grandparents, Billy Joe and Thomas. On October 5th at 9:40 a.m., Leilani called 911 to report her son missing. She said Quinton was last seen by her boyfriend at 6 a.m. Police began a missing persons investigation, but after 5 days, things changed dramatically. Police announced a criminal investigation. Then, on October 12th, they announced they believed Quinton was dead, a victim of homicide, and they named Leilani as the prime suspect. So, what does the family think about what is going on? Does Quinton's grandmother think her daughter could be responsible? Does Leilani think her boyfriend could be responsible? Tonight, new insight into what is going on behind closed doors inside Quinton's house as we hear from someone very close to all involved.
I think they assume that Billy is protecting Leilani in some way. It's not. She's very publicly said, if my daughter has done something, she needs to be punished for it.
Meanwhile, Quinton's babysitter is speaking out on TikTok, and his dad, Bubba, is suffering more tragedy with more deaths in his family as the search for Quinton continues. This hour, all the latest details in this Savannah, Georgia mystery. Let's bring in our guests to get a little more perspective on all of these aspects of what's happening in that house. Joining me tonight in Los Angeles, California, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert witness, and columnist of Inside the Criminal Mind, Dr. Carole Lieberman. And Dr. Carole Lieberman, here's the part. We were just showing some videos from TikTok of little baby Quinton. I don't, like, you look at those, look at this guy. Would you look at this? I mean, where inside a criminal mind could anyone come up with any reason to do anything other than love that child?
Yes, he's adorable. It's really sad to think that someone could purposefully have done harm to him. Of course, there is the theory, you know, the grandmother's call to the little boys, to Quinton's father, saying that her theory was that Leilani and Danny were getting high and they weren't watching, and Quinton drowned in the bathtub or something. That's one theory. You know, one of the things I've been thinking about, because there have been a lot of mysterious things happening, not just Quinton disappearing, but, you know, Quinton's father, Bubba, his mother died just in this past week or so, and his father was run over by a hit and run. A lot of strange things, you know, are happening. And I'm wondering if it could be, I know I'm kind of going out on a limb, but it's so hard to explain these things. You know, certainly the family was very much into drugs. Could this somehow have to do with some kind of a drug buying gone bad, or something, you know, taking the baby in revenge for not having paid for drugs, or just, you know, some story like that connected to drugs? It's because, you know, as you said, you look at that little innocent face, and it's really hard to think of someone doing harm for no good reason.
Dr. Carole Lieberman, I was in Orlando for a long time covering a trial down there. Same type of dynamics we're talking about. Kaylee Marie Anthony's grandmother, during the death penalty trial of her daughter, from my perspective, was doing everything she could to protect her daughter during that trial. Talk about this difficult position of being the mother, potentially, of your grandchild's killer. Potentially. That conflict that a grandparent would go through.
They have had a very volatile relationship from long before Quinton was born. You know, you can tell from things that are going on today. So, for example, behind her daughter's back, the grandmother is talking to the father of Quinton, saying, "Oh, I think it was my daughter and her boyfriend, taking drugs." On the other hand, the mother and daughter were, when the police were looking for Quinton, were drinking together at a bar, all buddy buddy. I think it's been like that for their life, that it's been too close in a sense and too far apart. It's been this very confusing dynamic for Leilani, and very difficult. And the mother has a the grandmother has a rap sheet and so on. She has 3 children, to my knowledge, and Leilani and 2 boys. And all of them have gotten in trouble with the law, including the grandmother, who's had 18 arrests. So of course it's going to be up and down and over and under in that family.
I guess, Dr. Carole Lieberman, your reaction to that? These children, 2 of them could have been left in the pool by themselves. 2 children who don't know how to swim.
It's unbelievable. It's almost as though she was hoping that they would disappear, Obviously, when she was taking drugs, that was her primary interest. It's if the door was open, I guess theoretically that's one thing that could have happened, that he walked into the pool by himself. But it's like she was just tempting fate, in not taking better care of the children. It's terrible. And another thing is, the babysitter has said that Child Protective Services, she called Child Protective Services, or she knew that somehow that they were involved. And you wonder why. Well, first of all, why they left them with the grandmother, that she wasn't going to be a better supervisor, and just why the children weren't put in a safer home.
King, big thank you to everyone tonight. What a great job. Dr. Janie Lacey, Dr. Carole Lieberman, Jason Jensen, Mike King. Your insight is amazing, and I know your time is valuable, so we appreciate it, and we'll see you all very, very soon.